World War II was a dark time. Families were torn apart, lives shattered. Brainwashed children were turned against their own family. Most people did not dare oppose Adolf Hitler, the ruthless dictator who caused it all. Yet there were some who refused to stay silent. This is a story about the White Rose, about college students who saw through Hitler's lies to the truth, about brave people who fought for their beliefs no matter what it took, and by using the very principle they were fighting for: peace. Sophie Scholl was born in Furstenberg, Germany on May 9, 1921, as the fourth of six children in an upper-middle-class family. Sophie's father, Robert, served as mayor of Furstenberg for 10 years and had always been a strong pacifist at heart, and her mother, Magdalena, was peaceful and loving. In 1933, Hitler was appointed chancellor, marking the rise of the National Socialists. Almost immediately, the German government turned from a democracy to a dictatorship, and the prosperities such as no more starvation or unemployment that Hitler had previously promised to German citizens were cheated, along with some of their natural rights. According to historians, prior to Hitler joining, the Nazi Party held extremely nationalist, racist, and anti-Semitic views. After Hitler joined the party, he expanded upon and marketed those ideas. As the Nazi influence grew, the National Socialists affected public education, brainwashing children starting at very young ages. Textbooks were rewritten to promote Nazi ideology, and even board games were biased. It was very common for classrooms around Germany to have posters of Hitler. Moreover, Nazi political education was a mandatory part of the curriculum, which was designed to instill the beliefs of Hitler into young minds. Robert and Magdalena were strongly against the Nazi regime from the start, warning their children against its negative influence. But like most teenagers of their time, the Scholl siblings, including Sophie and Hans, had all eagerly joined Nazi youth groups due to the sense of unity and purpose it provided. "Don't let yourselves be blinded. They are stealing your minds," Robert warned. His children simply ignored his objections. "We just dismissed it. He's too old for this stuff. He doesn't understand," Elizabeth Scholl later explained. Regardless of their previous excitement, the Scholl children's enthusiasm was short-lived, as the horrors of the Nazi Party started becoming undeniable. Certain songs were banned and certain literary works of art restricted. They started to witness Jewish classmates being kicked out of school, Jewish businesses closed. Hans and other Scholl siblings also participated in non-Nazi related youth groups that promoted outdoor adventures, nature, music, and other forms of art. However, even those were banned. By 1936, no groups that didn't directly promote Nazism were allowed. In 1937, Hans was caught still actively participating in one such group, and he was arrested. World War II began on September 1, 1939, when Hitler launched an attack on Poland, leading to Britain and France declaring war on Germany 2 days later. The older Scholl brothers were sent off to fight in the war. In the spring of 1941, Sophie, to her dismay, was required to serve in the National Labor Service before enrolling at the University of Munich to study biology and philosophy. Sophie despised all 6 months of it. Finally, in May of 1942, Sophie Scholl enrolled in the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich, joining her brother Hans, who was currently studying medicine there. Having been on the Eastern Front, Hans and his friends had fresh, fiery rage from witnessing Nazi cruelty and mistreatment towards Poles and Jews. They were determined to take action. That summer, the White Rose was founded by Hans Scholl and Alexander Schurmel. Soon after, Willy Graf, another fellow student, joined. These members wrote the first 4 leaflets of resistance, printing approximately 100 copies each, all typed with a typewriter. Nothing is so unworthy of a civilized nation as allowing itself to be governed without opposition by an irresponsible clique that has yielded to base instinct. The leaflets were distributed in secret to people around them, professors, students, friends, and family. Upon discovering Hans' association with the White Rose, Sophie Scholl demanded to join too. Her passion and determination quickly made Sophie a key member. Not only did she help distribute the leaflets, but Sophie also expanded their mailing reach across Germany and printed more copies, all while evading Gestapo suspicion. Soon, the leaflets were spreading to other cities, not just their own. They were mailed anonymously and left in public areas for people to find, such as phone booths and other university campuses. By December of 1942, Christoph Probst joined the White Rose, followed by Professor Kurt Huber. Huber's philosophical contributions added more depth to their leaflets, while Sophie Scholl brought in a unique voice that established more mood and tone, making later leaflets more moving and relatable with the public audience. Leaflets 5 and 6 had a few thousand copies printed each, copied using mimeographs. Other minor members of the White Rose, who were not directly involved in the writings of the White Rose pamphlets, along with White Rose sympathizers, helped by discreetly passing out leaflets, attempting to trick the Gestapo that the White Rose was a massive organization located all over the country, providing ideas for the leaflets, and attempting to help in other ways. Sophie and other White Rose members were feeling more and more hopeful. Their message had touched and sparked realizations on public authorities. Furthermore, students around them were more boldly expressing their negative opinions towards Hitler. This encouraged them to spread their message more and more daringly, spreading leaflets in person and publicly graffitiing walls in Munich with phrases such as "Freedom" or "Down with Hitler." On February 18, 1943, Sophie Scholl was passing out leaflets in the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich in between classes, for the intentions of what we can only assume to be allowing more people to notice. Sophie Scholl dropped approximately 1,000 copies of the sixth leaflet down the main balcony. Jacob Schmid, a janitor nearby and a loyal supporter of Hitler, saw her and reported her action to the Gestapo. Shortly after, Sophie was arrested. 4 days later, on February 22nd, Sophie and Hans Scholl, along with Christoph Probst, were declared as guilty of high treason and were sentenced to death. The Scholls had tried to take full responsibility for their actions, but they were not successful in sparing their friends from the terrible fate. In the following months, Willy Graf, Alexander Schirmel, and Kurt Huber were also arrested and were executed soon after. Some say that the entire White Rose movement was foolish, useless, rash anger which resulted in pointless death, that they were just mere college students. What did they know about this stuff? They didn't even spread their cause very far. Only a very small percentage of people were even affected by them. While it is true that the White Rose was not successful in spreading widespread opposition to the Nazi regime, the members did not die in vain. The White Rose leaflets showed anti-Nazi people that even in the darkest times, they weren't alone. It inspired other Germans to resist Hitler, allowing more young people to dream of the possibility of Hitler being overthrown. Every person who resists Hitler makes a difference, in both their lives and the rights, responsibilities, and freedoms of others. It may not affect the entire world, but it did reach thousands of civilians. It changed their world.